again, this is the spot that someone couldn't make it. And I raised my hand, I said, I'll do it. And the topic, I came up with it in a second. I said, what is the superpower? And then I thought, how would we do it? And my mission is to amplify everybody's voices today. So it will be very interactive. I want to hear everybody's voices in the room. And I want to talk about superpower. So I just want to start with what is superpower, right? It's not a skill. It's really something that drives you. And one thing I prepared, I'm going to read what is superpower. It's a perspective. It's a mindset. It's a way of working that enhances everything you touch. Just think about it. Superpower is unique to you. It's your thumbprint, right? It's part of your brand, so everybody has something. But I surveyed people. I'm going to put this phone down. I went around about half an hour ago, and I asked everybody, what's your superpower? What is your superpower? And everybody stumbled and was like, I don't know. Like, think about it, I'll come back. And the minute I come back, and they're like, my superpower, the first person said, I am an influencer. I'm like, wow, what does it mean? I was like, I influence, and this is natural to me. I project, and I'm strategic, so that's what I do. The other person said, I am adaptable. I can do anything. I adapt. This is my superpower. I can be anywhere. I can adapt. I can be in the moment. Someone said, my charisma. Ulyana said, my charisma. And who has the superpower? Who feels that okay, yay, wonderful. We're going to talk about that. And because there's 3 chairs, I also want to start with amplifying some ladies that haven't been on stage, or some have been. So I want to invite Laura to stage, please. Laura Bermudez. And then Neha. She flew from India. We saw her. And I asked if she wants to be a speaker, and I want to give her an opportunity. Thank you. And then Sarah. She flew from Canada. Thank you, Sarah, for being here. So the way I want to work this out, I want to ask a question to the leaders. I want them to introduce themselves. We'll start with an icebreaker, and then I want to go to you, because I want to hear from you what you think. And we're going to work this way. And that's why I have a microphone. So I want to start with, please think about if you had a superpower, something that is unnatural, not the real one. What would it be and why? I'll start with me. My superpower would be teleportation, because speed is everything. I want to be with my sister who lives so far away, and I want to see her. So that would be mine. So ladies. Sarah?
Sure, I'll start.
First, introduce yourself.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So Sarah Willock, I'm a senior director of Loblaw up in Canada. So happy to be in San Francisco for the first time. What my hero trait I would want would be to be able to freeze time. I think it would be helpful in personal and in career. From a personal perspective, I have 2 young kids, and they are growing up too fast. I would love just to pause on some of those simple moments of them playing at the park and just be able to kind of have more of that time.
Nice.
In a professional world, I'm sure we all launch projects and we never have enough time. Wouldn't it be nice just to be able to say, I need an extra month for this project, and just kind of pause that time and keep on working. So that would be the one I want.
I love that. Freeze the time, right? Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Neha.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, it's on. Hi, everyone. Thank you. My name is Neha. Most of you know me as the girl who flew from India. And yes, I did fly in from India for this conference. And I wish my superpower was to fly to more places like these and to learn from people across the world, because I try to do it, but I would love to do it more. And the last couple of years have been very difficult for all of us. I am a mom to a 9-year-old boy. I am a military spouse. And I head an initiative under the Ministry of Electronics and IT and Bombay Stock Exchange, which is focused on financial technology and drives financial inclusion back in India. So, but I started as a developer, and technology fascinates me because of its versatility, because of its power to scale and to provide things in places where all of us can't be all the time. So the possibility excites me. And yes, because of that, I would want to be in a, I envision a superpower where, like the metaverse, we could be in multiple places, but also have emotions there, not just be there.
Awesome.
And not
Excellent.
know. Yeah, so that would be mine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love it. Flying. Laura.
I'm Laura Bermudez. I'm a VP of Software Engineering at Change Healthcare, as well as running our Women for Change program and advising cryptocurrency startups. If I could pick any superpower out there, it's going to be a really strange one, but I would love the ability to revoke people's driver's licenses at will. You've all seen them in the fast lane going 40 miles an hour. But no, in all honesty, in like my day-to-day life, I think my superpower is really that I am just absurdly stubborn and I love learning. So the two of those things together, like I just don't give up on things, whether it's athletic pursuits or technical pursuits. I love to reach the end of a problem, and if that means I have to learn something completely different, because I think a great part of the honor of being a technical leader is the humility that there is so much to learn out there that you're never going to learn it all. But if you're stubborn enough, you can do a good job at trying.
That's awesome. Thank you. It actually leads to the next question, because now we're thinking about our superpowers, because there's superpower, their personal one. There's one for work as a leader, as an engineer. And I want to start with a personal one, and sometimes it connects actually, usually with work, right? So what is your personal superpower? And let's just all think about it. I know a lot of you raised your hands and you said you know it. But think about people around you and what they say about you, the top 5 things. Oh, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're that. And think about the moment where you're the most passionate, you have this energy where you think you can walk on water. What is that feeling and ability to just understand where you're coming from and just like that energy? So I want to start with you, Sarah.
I think mine would be just the ability to firefight. So I'm in the technology space, so definitely not a real firefighter. But we all know technology fails. Technology fails often, and sometimes technology fails in a really big way. So I've always been one of those people that kind of run towards the trouble instead of running away from that trouble, and really trying to just make sure everyone is, bracing for impact when technology fails. It hurts, and then just being able to kind of minimize that blast radius. So if it's a node that's failing, if it's data latency, if it's a network flap, regardless of the reason that technology is failing, just to be able to make sure everyone understands, I don't care about the root cause, I don't care about finger pointing, let's just kind of put this fire out. Let's try to make sure that we are backup systems operation and just minimize that impact that issue is going to have. Firefighting has been something that's been really prominent in my entire career. From an engineer being able to track that exception and being able to troubleshoot it really quickly, all the way to a leader to say, enterprise tech, I have brick and mortar stores, 2,000 stores down, let's try to tackle this and troubleshoot it, and keeping that really optimistic, positive attitude throughout. If you are upset or if you show anger that's happening, it demoralizes the team so much quicker. So just being able to rally behind it, fight the fire. Like any fire station, obviously, it takes the whole crew to put out that fire. Just make sure that you come together as a team and put out the fire, and then deal with the finger pointing a little bit after. But yeah, firefighting has always been key.
That's beautiful. Who has the firefighter as a skill here in the room? All right, we have a few. And when we think about firefighting, it's not the action, it's the way you are at that moment, right? Mm-hmm. How people look at you when you're firefighting?
Yeah, it's something just to show poise in it. Like, you will get faced with such extreme situations, where we have terabytes of data loss, and you go, oh, okay, great. How do we get past this? Where's the backups? Where's the recovery? Instead of saying, how did this happen? Just skip that part and just say, okay, as a leader, I'm acknowledging whatever just happened. Let's get through this. And then obviously as a postmortem, when you have conversations with executive teams, how to prevent it from happening again. Yeah. Like I said, technology will still always fail, no matter how precautious you are and how many actions you take. But being able to kind of rise above, take learnings as much as possible, and then educate that team once again on if possibly they did something wrong, make sure that they understand some of the actions that they created and some of the outcomes that they caused.
Awesome. No, great, thank you. I think now we're changing, like, you call your superpower, and how do you use it then? Do you use it at home too?
I'd like to think so. Obviously, the firefighting that I put out with at home is a little bit different. It's like, the kids sneaking too many cookies and how I'm going to stop that from happening. But definitely, I think it's a skill that you have in your career, but everything kind of permeates through the home as well.
Got it. Thank you. Neha, what about you?
Oh, no, that's wonderful, Sarah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. One of my first jobs was working for CVS Pharmacy. And like you said, firefighting. Those days when it was downtime was party time for us, because that was when you could order pizza and bill it to the company. So, and I think naturally women have that knack to firefight, and of course for the allies out there as well. The other superpower that I sort of relate with this is balancing the act and multitasking. I think women are so good at this.
What about you? Personally?
As a person, yes, balancing the act and multitasking, whether it is family, whether it is my son's soccer class, whether it is coming back to get into a session or a meeting. And I work with different stakeholders back in India, because one is the government, one is a stock exchange, because it's a public-private partnership. So just balancing the different stakeholders, and just making sure that you do what is asked, and you also know when to say, no, this is not possible. And that no is also a very important choice, to say that, okay, this is not working. So that comes when you try to not necessarily juggle in a way where it becomes too much for you to handle, but balance it out in such a way that at the end of the day, you go back sleeping satisfied with how your day went, and also pumped up to what tomorrow has to offer.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, that would be my superpower.
Who is life balancing is superpower? Anybody life balancing superpowers? No? Okay, got it. Laura, what about you?
I would have to say it starts with heart. And it wasn't always there in my career when I was, starting out 25 years ago. It was, you got to be this persona, and you got to be the, technical leader. Otherwise, people won't take you seriously. They think you're too soft. But over my career, I've realized that my heart is one of my biggest assets. And taking care of my team first, surrounding myself with really smart people, and making them family, understanding, when they're going through, maternity leave. And, I've had one of my favorite people of all time. She tried to quit on me twice. The first time was when she came back from her first maternity. It just, it was tough. And second maternity, because the first maternity was fine. We went through that together too. The second maternity, baby was tough, and it was giving her a tough time, and she felt like she was struggling between the personal things that she was dealing with and trying to find time for work, and she felt like she was failing at both things. And so at the time, my approach was just like, well, how about you work part-time? She's like, can we do that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'll figure it out. Like, let me work this out. Like, I'm going to ask for forgiveness on this one rather than permission. And she ended up coming back eventually to a full-time role, but she was very happy that she didn't draw out. And then the second time, her husband, she had just agreed to move to a different team of mine. She had worked for me a few times, and her husband had taken this big job, and they agreed that they were going to move for his job. And this meant, in her mind, that she couldn't take the job with me anymore, and she was so sorry for that. And I'm like, well, why can't you work remotely? Same question. Can we do that? Yeah, we can. I'm sure. Like, let me call my boss. It'll take 5 minutes, and I'll get it cleared. And it's putting people at the core of what you do. If you take care of people, they will take care of you. They will do a great job. But having the heart to realize when they're going through tough things, I think we've all probably needed that support in our careers at certain times. And and learning that I don't have to be this, persona of an executive, that I can have heart and lead with heart is something that's been a superpower
That's
for me.
beautiful, Laura. Thank you. Would you say that empathy and heart go along?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've had so many issues. I can empathize with a lot of things that have happened, and people have had their ups and downs, and you just have to put yourself in that person's shoes, and it doesn't always work out, but eventually, most of the time, what you give out to everybody else comes back to you.
That's beautiful. Thank you. I want to hear from the audience, and I know that we have a lot of you, and I want to hear voices. So let's do it with velocity. So think about the superpower and how you use it. And if you have it, raise your hand and I'll come. What is your superpower? Come on, don't be shy. All right. I'll go to you first. Anna.
Thank you. So communication at work. I'm very good at communicating like verbally and visually and everything. And at home, unfortunately, with my kids, we debate a lot, and they tell me they can never win.
I love it. Thank you.
Well, I kind of have two, but I'll stick with the opportunity creator. I'm able to uncover opportunities where it seems that none exist, and I think I'm able to build trust quickly and to create relationships.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Who has opportunity creator as their superpower? Jessica, I was just talking to you. She said that when you have nowhere to go and the no is an answer, she's the one finding the way. It's like she's going to turn it around, and that's the opportunity. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I'm running. You had one.
Thank you. Being a coach is a superpower that's important, and I try to do that with my team at home. And I think being a coach also means you need to be patient. You need to listen. You need to understand. And the advice would differ from one individual to another. And you need to develop that trust that whoever you're coaching or mentoring, they can open up and talk to you and be a confidant.
How do you do that? Like, how do you find that trust? Because I would love to know.
So I think it's important for you to do the right thing, and it's important for whoever you're coaching to see how you act in times of crisis and your authenticity around that.
Yes.
And once they see that, they develop that trust, and then they would ask for advice. And you have to look out for them, right? You can't just shake your hands off saying, this is what you do, and then walk away. You have to be able to, just like kids, right? You cannot just say, okay, practice your math and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You have to be with them. So
Thank you.
I think that's...
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Mine would be positivity. I feel like having such a strong, optimistic mindset just produces productivity and passion. So positivity is mine.
Mine too. Who's positivity? Wow. I want to see. Just don't. Please keep it up. Positivity. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, mine too. Like waking up in the morning, being so positive, and it's so contagious. And I think that's what make us happy, walk on water, and people want to have that energy. So that's amazing for all of you. Thank you. Who's next? Oh, yes, Lydia.
Mine is community builder. So I'm a community builder at work where I try to bring different, not only my team together, but teams across the company so that together we can accomplish great things. And I think in innovation, it's so important to have that feeling of trust across the company. So I think community is a big one for me. And then in my personal life, just being able to make an impact in the community. So I'm a San Franciscan, and I just think that being able to do, volunteerism, service, and bringing, your neighbors and friends and people to help do, things that make an impact is really important. So I'm very passionate about that. And then communities of women. So I'm in a lot of communities of women, and I'm so happy to be here because this is a community, and it's exciting.
That's why you're here today.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, you said yes and you came and you spoke, and I can see that. Thank you.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you. Thank you, Lydia. Yeah, yes.
So I didn't know I had the superpower. I thought I would be the last person to have the superpower, but I realized I'm actually an empathetic leader. The more I started leading people, I think I started to really see the things that they don't say. I think as women, we really are hard on ourselves. And when I started leading females, I realized, like, when they need that break or when they need to be with their kid, but they just won't say it. And so I think an empath leader, you can really feel another person's emotions and really ask critical questions of, hey, like, how's your day going? Like, is today like a good day for you? Like, how did the morning go? And then they start to really open up. And when you get that vulnerability with someone, you really are leading them on a different level, and they can really trust you with a lot of different things. So, empath leader.
Amazing. Empathy. Thank you. Who's next? Yes. Lily?
Yes, thanks, Ulyana. First of all, I want to say that this topic is amazing because we as women tend to focus on our shortcomings more than our superpowers.
Yes.
So thank you for empowering us to talk about the superpowers. Because the first thought that was coming to my mind was like, okay, this is my superpower, but this is what I need to work on. Having said that, my superpower is to get things done. I work with engineering, and oftentimes there is the analysis paralysis, overanalyzing the pros and cons, the timing, and where I come like, let's get together, let's set a date, and let's commit to doing something.
Wow.
So, getting things done. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
I was deciding whether I was going to go or not, but it's a room full of women just going, so.
Yay! Woo!
Yeah, I'd say that my superpower is just viewing something from a different point of view. Like I found when I'm working with others, it's really important. I mean, I'll have the want to get my ideas out there and to kind of almost like I naturally feel drawn to like leading things and but realizing how important it is that I open myself up to be able to see and hear different points of views, even if it's something that I don't really understand to start out with. I think just trying to put that bridge of connection out there of like, hey, I'm trying to actually understand what you're telling me, even if I don't initially get it. And I found that just doing that simple act with my coworkers has like released so much tension and like created so much more unity. So yeah, I feel like that's definitely a superpower.
That's just, awesome.
Yeah, opening.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Couple more? Yes? Yes.
First off, I loved what you had to say about heart and empathy. That really resonated with me, and that is a shared superpower that I feel like I have. It was always just something that came to me. I do it at work every day, and I didn't really think much of it until I started spending time with my boyfriend's 2 daughters. They're 12 and 14 now, but a few years ago when I met them, one of them came to me and said, I really like that you look at me when I talk to you. And that just hit me so hard.
Wow.
Not anything that I ever noticed I did in life, but it's something I value from other people is eye contact. Wow. And that little moment, I was like, wow, who are all these people that are not looking at you, too?
Yeah.
Like, just those little things can really make a big difference.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Come on, ladies. Come on. Yes.
What I'm good at is I'm good at listening for what is not being said, and kindly finding a kind way to bring it up to surface, either for transparency's sake, or if it is a subconscious thing, just to bring a different perspective.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. Yes?
I'd say one of my superpowers is working towards making people feel included and just trying to create inclusive environments.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anyone else? No? Yes.
I'll say something is, I think it roots from the positivity superpower, but it manifests itself as what I call as a maximizer. is given the situation and given the resources, look for the strengths and how do we bring those together to really maximize the impact, whether in professional or personal side. But I think it roots from the positive outlook.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Can we give a round of applause to everybody who shared? Thank you. I think my next question is, we all here strive to be good leaders, and what do we lead with? And we always think, okay, I am a bad leader, I'm a good leader. How do I lead with empathy? And there's words come in our mind. Everybody has their superpower in leadership. So I want to go there, if you can start thinking about it. What is your superpower as a leader with your team? And if you don't know what it is, think about, again, what people say about you. Like Pallavi, thank you for saying all these things. But just think about it, that they get empowered. What is that? You know, for me, I can share mine, is disappear myself in them completely. So when I listen to them what they say, then I recreate what they say, and then I see and look for the purpose. And even they don't know what it is. My mission is to see, discover it, empower it, and let them fly. And that's my superpower as a leader. And I felt like this maybe came with me having kids 9 years ago. Because before I was a competitive person running and making things happen. And I was unstoppable in that. But then when I had kids, I realized that now mother figure is there for others. How can I bring that to every single girl? And there's a lot of women, but there also have guys on my team. But it's really that discovery. You look at them and they don't feel like they have it, but you persistently tell them this is your superpower. So that's mine. So I want to go to you. How much time we have? I want to make sure. 15 minutes. Okay. How do you lead, and what's your superpower as a leader?
Yeah, I can't think of the word for it. So if someone else thinks of the word, let me know after. But really, it's everyone on the team has slightly different things that they're looking for. Someone's going to be after the best pay. Someone's going to be after that special role and special title they want. Someone just really wants to save the day. They also want to be a firefighter. They want some of those types of aspects. So it's making sure that in your one-on-one, as much as it is for them, a lot of the times they don't talk enough. So as a leader, I really kind of probe them. You know, what would make you feel successful? If I had something to give you, what kind of project would you really want? And it's so impressive, the results and kind of the answers you get back, because you have, like, let's say this engineer that's been an engineer for 12 years. When you say, what do you really want to do? And they say, I really want to get involved with architecture. And you're like, I would have never guessed that. And because these kind of roles are a little bit more keeping to themselves, they usually don't divulge that information. So just being able to be a friendly ear, really probe them. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What means something to you? And then being obviously able to support them. So I can't think of the word that I want to describe this, but just being there for them, really asking those hard questions, and also challenging them. If they have been an engineer for 12 years, and they go, I'm happy. And you go, are you? Is there a different tech stack you want? Do you want to go take some cloud courses? Do you want to start mentoring and teaching new students and people coming in? And the answer might be no. They might be super happy with where they are, but just at least kind of giving them those sound bites to kind of prompt them. Maybe they don't know what they want because they just simply don't know it exists.
That's great. Anybody does that? Can relate? Yes, thank you. Miha, what about you?
I think as a leader, what is very important, and I feel, when you're leading, especially people younger than you, one of the most important aspects is just kindness, is just being kind and listening to what they have to say, rather than as a leader just telling them what to do. So sometimes you learn a lot from your subordinates, especially the millennial generation, because they have so much perspective, and I sometimes feel that they have a lot of clarity. So just being kind and, just listening into what they have to offer, and then giving them a sense of direction with respect to how you think, rather than just imposing what you think. So that has added a lot of value, I think, in a binary way, rather than, as a leader, you're always thinking about people above you. What I feel empowers you is when you start thinking about the people below you, because they're the ones who will push you forward. So yeah, I think that one.
Thank you. Laura?
I would have to say it's building and developing high-performing teams. So my teams are always the
best,
the rock stars of the team, and I'm so proud of them. But part of that's really building a culture where they can be successful, right? It's knowing what engineering excellence means to them, and that they can break it down in terms of development best practices so they know what's expected of them. They know our goals as a business and a company, so they're empowered to make decisions at their level that line up with where we're trying to get to. People need to have autonomy to feel like they're valued and they have a point and purpose in this world. And so making sure they have that structure around them and framework to make decisions in and make their own decisions and get us to where we need to go, I think is my leadership superpower. We've got a really, really great culture that encourages people to be their best.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Laura. Anybody wants to share their leader power? I can share if you want, because there is no hands. So I wanted to talk about job descriptions. What is a job description? This is the worst thing that could ever happen to any company. You put the job description out there, I want this skills, this skills, this skills, and then half of the people will not even apply because they don't fit in. So my philosophy as a leader is we don't create jobs for people. Okay. See, I'm going crazy.
We got you.
So, yes, so I want to create a job around the person and their skill set and eliminate what they don't want to do. That's my main thing. It's like, I hate doing spreadsheets. I hate doing this. I love motivating people. I like leading. I like to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, yes, this is going to be your job description. And let's make sure we take that out, what you don't want to do, and empower those little skill sets. So I don't know if you can relate to it, but I think it's important to have that in a culture of a future generations and leaders, that we don't need job descriptions. We actually want to empower people for their skill set.
You're harnessing everybody else's superpower.
Yes, exactly. That's a superpower, right? To have a superpower of others. Who wants to share about leadership and their superpower in leadership? Come on, don't be shy. I'll share. There you go. Michelle. I missed your dance yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Well, I saw your dancing when you did the splits.
Oh. What happens upstairs?
It was amazing, by the way. The DJ was incredible. As a coach, and I coach rising leaders, I coach VP, C-suite, the occasional CEO, and I start with truly trying to uncover, with trust and empathy, what this person really wants. And somebody said listening for what's not being said. Who said that? So important, right? Understanding what's not being said. Because if they're coming to me as a coach, they're coming because something's not coming out of them. And when you get to that level, on the subconscious, and sure I do, mindful meditations and imagine a room and what happens in the room, and then you learn a lot of things about where people are coming from in their subconscious. But once I do get them to that big picture where they admit it to me, and now they've spoken it out loud to another person, then we look at the challenges they're facing. But of course, the most important thing is looking at their superpowers and how they can apply it to get to the promised land. That's what I do as a leader.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Awesome. Anyone else? No? No? Going once? It's your chance. Voices? Come on. No? Okay. What I want to talk about next is hacks and tools as a leader, because it's a superpower to have something under your belt that you do that nobody does, and it's really cool. I know Laura has one. We discovered that, for me, automation is super important. How can I do everything fast? So Katya taught me, that leader, to voice over everything. And it's so fast. I don't type anymore because it's so fast to be, to write a really long email. Typing, I just don't have time. I can't even sit. So I walk around and I type it. So my little hack is what she taught me. So I want to know about what are your superpower little hacks that you have that are really cool. One lady said 2 days ago that it's 1.5 speed of podcast and listening everything 1.5 speed. Who does that?
Yeah.
See, we all want to have it faster, right? So Sarah, what's your little hack?
I don't know if I have one.
You do.
I'm going to pass it this way.
Okay.
And maybe once I hear a couple, I'll figure out I maybe have one and I don't even know it.
I know you have it.
I probably do.
Yeah.
For me, it's the to-do list that you have in your notes, and I really like to tick off things once they're done. So that's a little hack I like to do at the beginning of the day, and then just make sure that I've ticked off everything in that list by the end of the day.
Awesome. To-dos. Who does to-do lists? Ooh, yes. Yeah. We love our to-dos. I have to say my to-do, I will never get anything crossed from that list, so I do not do to-dos. But I love that. Thank you.
It feels so good just checking things off, right?
Things off, right?
It's like I did something today, thank God. But so I would have to say my hack, it's a more recent one. When I have one-on-one meetings, so just with another individual, we've been staring at each other through Zoom for so long now, we get kind of sick of it. so my product counterpart, Sophie, and I will just do walking one-on-ones. And so she'll walk in her neighborhood in DC, and I'll walk in my neighborhood in Redwood City. And we both, we have our weekly conversation, and we're so excited now because, we know on Monday for at least half an hour, I'm going to be getting outside and walking around and feeling like I'm taking care of myself and my health, and vice versa. So that's been my more recent hack that has just totally changed things for me.
I love it. Who does that? One-on-one walks. Yes. Awesome. I do that. Awesome. Any other hacks, ladies? Yes. Oh, see, everybody has a hack.
This is something that was taught to me by an old colleague who was in the Air Force, and he said this is where he learned it. But basically, every morning, make your bed, even if you don't want to. If you live alone or if you live with family, make your bed, because then the very first thing you've gotten done, you've made your bed. You've gotten something done that day, and you're going to feel better and more excited about the rest of the day because you got at least one thing done.
I love it. Who does make their bed every day? Don't be shy. Awesome. I do that. Awesome. Other hacks, yes. Yes.
It's a twist on the to-do list. It's the to-done list.
Oh.
So it's a tip that I heard from Warren Buffett years ago, and it was write down everything you accomplished that day.
Oh, I love that.
So you feel, instead of you go to your to-do list and you're like, oh gosh, there's 10 things I didn't get done. So you're feeling bad about what you didn't get done.
Yes, that's me. I love that. Wow, and it's also acknowledgement, right? Hey, I feel good about it. Yes, exactly. Yes.
This one's really quick. I work East Coast hours primarily and live here in the Bay Area, so I have a lot of early morning meetings. Every minute is precious in the morning, especially pre-7 a.m. So I will open up my calendar, take the invite link, pop it into Chrome, and just get it ready to hit enter. So in the morning, all I have to do is hit enter.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you. Any more? Yes. We'll go with you first.
Similar to the ones with the lists. And I did this during the beginning of the pandemic with my team because we were trying to do things so fast all the time. But take 5 minutes at the last day of your week, whatever day that is, if it's Friday or Monday, and do 3 things. What did you accomplish that week? What challenges came up that week? And what is something you need to remember to do next week? And that we don't celebrate our successes enough. We always forget. So even the small or the large ones or the, just something that happened well that week, remember to write down your successes and your accomplishments at least once a week.